Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. Uh, we're going to talk Guardians, and we'll talk spring training, and their first Cactus League game is coming up. We'll talk about the Cavs and the NBA All-Star game, and we'll get to all that. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. It's an NBA trivia question. Who holds the franchise record, single season record, for assists? And it is a Cavs one, too, and so I'll have the answer later on the podcast. Uh, Now we're starting off with the Guardians. Right-hander Jacob Junis and the Cleveland Guardians finalized their $4.5 million one-year contract on Sunday, this past Sunday. The 32-year-old Junis declined part of an $8 million mutual option with Cincinnati in November in favor of a $3 million buyout. The Reds acquired him in a trade in July that sent Frankie Montes to the Brewers. He had a 2.85 ERA in 5 starts and 9 relief appearances for Cincinnati, finishing the season with a 2.69 ERA in 6 starts and 18 relief outings. Junis is 42-45 with a 4.48 ERA in 192 games, including 116 starts over 8 seasons with Kansas City, San Francisco, Milwaukee, and Cincinnati. The Guardians exceeded modest expectations last season with a strong start that set them up to win 92 games, and then the Central before advancing to the AL Championship Series, which, of course, they lost. And but hopefully they'll be back in they'll hopefully get into the World Series this year, and hopefully they can win one. So earlier this offseason, they signed Gold Glove first baseman Carlos Santana to a 1 year, $12 million, excuse me, after trading Josh Naylor to Arizona and adding reliever Paul Sewald with a $7 million 1 year deal to join a bullpen led by Emmanuel Clase. Left-hander Sam Hentges was placed on the 60-day injured list. He had surgery on September 18th with Los Angeles Dodgers head team physician Dr. Neil Alcatrecci to repair the capsule and labrum in his left shoulder, and recovery time was estimated at 12 to 14 months. So we'll see if we'll get him back for any of the Cactus League games or for opening day. But right now, we'll just have to play it out and see what happens. And he's always gonna have to go through rehab to be back playing with the team and get a throwing arm going again. And the Guardians will have their first Cactus League game this Saturday, February 22nd, against the Cincinnati Reds. Moving on to the Cavs right now, the NBA All-Star Weekend is in the rearview mirror with mostly negative reviews to show for it. Fans and players alike have come out in opposition to the long breaks in between games and even in the middle of the championship game. Uh, After the tournament, Cavaliers star Donovan Mitchell told the media that it was tough overall, but his performance on the court also certainly impacted his enjoyment of All-Star Weekend. Mitchell shot 1 of 11 from the field across two full-point games. One game against his Cleveland teammate Evan Mobley, and Mitchell wasn't shy to poke fun at Mobley in an Instagram post on Monday. May have only made one shot, but at least it was on. At Evan Mobley 4. Mitchell wrote. Mobley joked back in a comment. He had to let you get one. I had to let you get one. Excuse me. LOL. Mitchell appeared in his 6th All-Star game on Sunday, but the weekend festivities were a first for 23-year-old Evan Mobley. The two competed side by side in the skills challenge the night before winning the team competition. Mobley had 6 points, 3 of 4 shooting in the lone game he played, over the weekend, a 41 to 32 loss by Team Kenny at the hands of Team Chuck. If the All-Star game goes back to East versus West, as Mitchell suggested, then Mitchell, Mobley, and fellow All-Star Darius Garland, who had 6 points in the game, may all be able to play on the same team again. But for now, it seems like the Cavaliers enjoyed getting to face off for a night, and will now go back to focusing on an NBA Finals run. And most likely they will be in the playoffs, and most likely, hopefully, they can get into the NBA Finals and hopefully face Oklahoma City. We'll see. We don't know yet, but we'll have to wait and see. So it's a long season to go yet before we get to the playoffs. And there's no NBA action today, but the Cavs will be back in action tomorrow as they will take on the Brooklyn Nets at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And tip-off is at 7:30 on FanDuel Network. So, and we're going to talk some Browns news right now. You know, Myles Garrett has been requesting a trade out of Cleveland. While the Browns were completely hardened against trading defensive end Myles Garrett despite his request, they may be softening their stance. The Athletic's Diana Rossini has reported that the Browns are now telling teams a less hesitant response to trading Garrett. According to the NFL Insider, the Browns have been responding to calls with, "We are not moving him, but stay tuned." Now, this is a different tune. This is a different tune than they were singing just a few weeks ago when they were uh, vehemently against any trade action regarding the All-Pro and 2023 NFL Defensive Player of the Year. It now looks like Garrett's time in Cleveland may be dwindling. Rossini states that she expects teams to want to get a deal done by the start of the new league year in mid-March. With the NFL Combine next week, talks could accelerate as all of the NFL executives will be in Indianapolis together for the week. So it doesn't surprise me. Myles Garrett's had a great run here in Cleveland, and it just would not surprise me if there is a trade in the process. So he's had a good run here, and I think if you're upset by it, you gotta not be, because he's done. He's played like a Hall of Famer, and he's made some big plays for the Browns. So it just does not surprise me. And we'll get some more sports news in just a moment. But right now, it is time to reveal the answer uh, to today's Scout Sports 101 trivia question. It's a Cavs trivia question. Who holds the franchise single season record for assists? If you said Andre Miller, you are correct. Point guard Andre Miller was the only NBA player to average 10 plus assists and 10 plus points during the 2001 2002 season. NBA season. He finished the season with 1,335 points and a franchise record 882 assists. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. But right now we're gonna getting back to sports news, and but no, I just feel that Myles Garrett's had a great run here, but I gotta tell you, the Browns need to get it right. At the combine free agency and in the NFL draft, they need to draft a quarterback because we cannot have another season like the one we just had. And I think a lot of NFL teams are feeling that way after seeing, even though Kansas City did not win their three-peat, but but they were happy that Philadelphia did win the Super Bowl, and so I just feel a lot of teams are looking at feeling that same way, and and uh, and I gotta check this story, and I just this story just came. I wanted to check it out right now, and it's came in just a couple of days ago. Yesterday, Monday, the Guardians are reportedly in agreement with a 5-year lefty with free agent lefty John Means on a one-year deal with a 2026 club option. The signing, which is pending a physical guarantees the Wasserman client $1 million salary, $1 salary for the upcoming season. The option can be worth up to $7.5 million after factoring escalators and does not include a buyout. Means is recovering from its second career Tommy John surgery and is expected to be out of action until August. Means 31 was once the opening day starter for the Orioles and looked to be a cornerstone in the rotation as the team navigated to the late stages of its rebuild. They moved back into a win mode. The Southpaw pitched to a 3.72 ERA in 353 and a third innings from 2019 to 2022, but was limited to just 8 innings in the final of those 4 years when a UCL tear necessitated Tommy John surgery. Means grinded through a yearling rehab process and returned late in the 2023 season. He didn't make it out of May of 2024 without re-injuring his elbow, unfortunately, and the team announced a second UCL procedure for Means last June. Last June. The surgery figures to sideline him beyond the All-Star break, perhaps into the final month or so of the season. Given that timeline, he's not a lock to pitch for Cleveland at all this year. Any setbacks of note would make it tough for the lefty to get back on a big league mound in 2025. At best, Means sat 92 and 94 mile an hour fastballs with a 4-seamer and complemented the pitch with an 82 mile an hour changeup and an 85 mile slider. His strikeout rate typically sat just below league average, though Means is impeccable command, impeccable command helped to offset his pedestrian bat missing numbers. Now, however, their 3 full seasons have elapsed since Means last pitched. Even 25 big league innings in a season. He tossed 146 in 2 and 3 innings in 2019 when first establishing himself and a logged career high 153 frames in 2021. He's since combined for just 52 and a third innings, 8 in 2022, 23 and 2/3 in 2023, and 20 and 2/3 in 2024. When he was healthy enough to take the mound last year, Means' fastball averaged 90.5 miles down, more than the 3 miles per hour from its peak of 93.8 in 2020. That's clearly a good bit of uncertainty, which means which is reflected in the minimal nature of his guarantee this season. If he can get back to peak form, or even 80 to 90% of that form, he'll be a bargain addition. If not, the Guardians are barely investing more than a league minimum salary and can simply move on at season's end, stocking up on late season reinforcements for the staff makes some sense for the Guardians, who don't have the type of rotation certainty that would generally come to expect, we've generally come to expect from them over the years. And right-hander Tanner Beebe has emerged the unquestioned staff leader, but the rest of the group is far less certain. Gavin Williams, Logan Allen, both top prospects who graduated alongside Beebe and impressed in 2023, took substantial steps backwards. In 2024, right-hander Ben Lively has found a second act in his Major League Baseball career after spending 3 years in KBO, but he sat 89.9 with his heater and with his heater last year. He's far from a sure thing, but combining 151 innings of 300 of a 3.81 ERA ball, he's likely locked into a spot beyond Bibee, Lively, and things are more up in the air. Triston McKenzie opted to forego surgery in 2023 when he was diagnosed with a UCL injury, and his 2024 season included 16 starts with a 5.11 ERA and noticeably lesser stuff on the mound. Cleveland picked up a hard-throwing righty, Luis Ortiz, from the Pirates in the Andres Gimenez-Spencer Horwitz trade this offseason, but he's something of a project, having yet to pitch a full season in a big league rotation. Swingman Jacob Junis signed, as I mentioned, signed a 1-year deal with him the past week and could factor into the rotation or serve as a long man in Stephen Voigt's bullpen. Shane Bieber is back with the club on a 2-year deal, but he is rehabbing from his own Tommy John operation performed April 12th last year. He's not likely to be an option until May or June. And the rehab from any major surgery comes with the possibility of setbacks. It's all likelihood Cleveland will open the season with a rotation including some combination of Beebe, Williams, Lively, Ortiz, McKenzie, Junis, and Allen. And others on the 40-man roster include Joey Cantillo, Doug McKazy, and Slade Sione, with non-roster hopefuls and camp veterans Vince Velasquez and Colby Allard. There's plenty of volume, but the guards will need to continue showing their knack for coaxing quality performance of unassuming pitchers if they're to repeat as champions in the American League Central, where they will face competition from Tigers, Royals, and Twins. Getting Means back in mid-August could serve the same effective boost as a trade deadline pickup, but only time will tell when his velocity will sit and what kind of workload he can realistically expect his shoulder to be. So we'll see. But they did sign John Means to a 1-year deal. So, but we'll see what happens this upcoming season with the Guardians as well. That's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back with another podcast later this week or this weekend. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.